Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. As you guessed from the title of this video, this is a shed that I got for free. This is what it looked like, or what it should have looked like. But unfortunately, Fiona, the hurricane that went through PEI, turned it into this. This is what it looked like when I got it. And yes, it rolled 150 feet before it landed here. So that was a pretty strong hurricane, one of the strongest winds that we've ever felt in PEI. But basically the owner just wanted it moved, cleaned up and moved out of here. So he basically told me, he said, look, if you want to look after moving it out of here, hauling it out of here, he said, you can have it for getting rid of it. And I was like, okay, sure, that sounds good to me. So he just wanted it cleaned up, and I needed a shed. So anyway, I called my dad and told him about it, and this is my dad in the tractor. He's helping me right now. This is our 3520 John Deere tractor with pallet forks on it and extensions. There's the roof. That's what's left. And anyway, yeah, we're just loading it up on the trailer. And like to have a huge shout out to my dad for helping me with this. Thanks a lot, Dad. Couldn't have done it without you, for sure. But yeah, we're just flipping this down here now, and then we're going to pick it up with the forks. I have to move this board over a little bit, but yeah, he just backs up and it just falls right down on the ground, and it actually wasn't damaged too bad at all. So it actually looks in pretty good shape. The steel was in pretty good shape. There's a few little wrinkles here and there in the corners, but nothing too major. So anyway, that's it. All sitting on the trailer, ready to head for my place. We just have to put the ratchet straps on it. That's my dad's F-250 Ford and his trailer, equipment trailer. And this is us leaving there and heading out. And this is me now. I'm starting, got 3 walls up. We're starting to put it together, or I'm starting to put it together. You can see the roof there sitting in the background. Yeah, it wasn't that much damage. I mean, it looked bad originally, but I figured the walls and most of the walls and everything were all intact, so it was just a matter of putting it back together, really. And I figured it was a pretty good deal for a free shed. It's 8 by 12 was the size. It was not a bad size. I mean, I certainly would have filled it up, that's for sure. It would have been full of stuff. And I think it retailed for, I think they're worth around $5,000, give or take. But yeah, you can see my solar panels there on the side. That Fiona kind of wrecked my solar hot water heating system, so that has to be also cleaned up. So, but anyway, this that's the roof there. I brought that up got it ready to put on. I was going to put it on up. I tried putting it up with the 3520, but the 3520 wouldn't quite lift it high enough. It was about a foot short. And then I ended up changing the whole plan anyway, because I got talking to my dad, and I said to Dad, I said, you know, I said, maybe I should add a little piece onto this. And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So we ended up, I added 16 inches to the top of those walls all the way around. And there you can see it there where I added the 16 inches, which gave me a lot higher roof line. And then I also added on the sides 4 foot by 12 foot on each side. And I moved that wall out to the outside edge. So yeah, so now I have a 12 by 16 feet wide shed, which is quite a bit bigger. It actually has a lot of room in it. I figured, you know, I was getting a permit and everything to do this anyway. I said, so I may as well build it the size I need it now. There's a better picture of it there. And all the lumber and everything to do the addition, I pretty much had all the lumber to rough everything in. The 2x6 wall in the front there, Dad gave me all that from his shop he built last summer. It was covered in concrete, and so he didn't want it. His carpenter didn't want to use it, so he said you may as well take it and use it. So I got all those free 2x6s, and he had some leftover steel from his shop that I got to do the roof. And the only thing I had to buy was the sheathing for the front. There's 4 sheets. The pine around that door to kind of make that look a little nice. And 2 sheets for the back. And then I bought 3 sheets of 5/8 inch plywood for the floor inside. And that's really about it. All the other lumber I already had pretty much. And like I said, I even had some steel for the roof. So, but yeah, so it didn't cost me very much money to make it that much bigger. I think I have about $700 into it in total. Which isn't bad for a 12 by 16 shed, considering they're selling them for like 10 grand here on PEI. So I think it was a pretty good deal. I had to buy gravel and put gravel down on the ground. That was just, I put some heavy mill plastic and then the gravel base, and that'll keep any moisture from coming up through the ground and rotting the shed out. So it should last there a long, long time. But yeah, it was a fun little project. And then of course winter's coming, so this is just I did a little test area with some paint. I found out that the stain that was already on this was an oil-based stain, so I pretty much had to use an oil-based paint on top of it. So I ended up, I think I went to Home Hardware and I got, I think it's called Rust Coat. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's basically just a rust paint, and it stands up really good to the outdoors. So I've used it before in other projects, and it works really well. So I just did a little test strip here just to see how it was going to look and how it was going to cover, and it turned out really good. So I thought, okay, that'll do to get it sealed. And like I said, I was under kind of a time restraint because winter was coming, and it was getting cold out, and I knew I didn't have a lot of nice days left to get this thing painted. And that plywood you can see there in the middle, the lighter colored stuff, that's untreated. So if I had left that all winter, it would have swelled up and got the water in it. And there, the front, I rolled all that on. That took me probably, I bet you 4 hours to do that. I had to take a brush and brush in all the lines, the little lines, and then roll the front. It took quite a while. So then I decided, you know what, I'm going to use my sprayer, and I just sprayed the whole thing. I brought my air compressor out, and I had a HVLP spray gun with a 2.3 nozzle, I think, tip on it, and it worked great. I ended up spraying that whole rest of the building in, like, I don't even think it took me a whole day. I think I started in the morning around 10 or 11 o'clock, and I finished at like 3. And I had a pretty good coat on the whole thing. Now, granted, it's only one coat on most of it. Like you can see, there's some spots on the back that are a little light. So I'm definitely gonna have to give it another coat. But at least that'll keep the water from getting into the wood for the winter. And then next year I'll give it another coat of paint. And I'm going to trim it out all with white. The fascia will be all white. And the red metal roof is going to be black. So I'll paint that also. But not bad for a $700 shed. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.